What's up, people? This is your guy Mark with McGuires Tutorials. I want to shoot a video to show you how to edit your video in Camtasia's timeline. If you look down here, this is where your video track. This is your actual screen recording. This is your audio. Now, in the beginning of your video, if you were just getting ready, you could trim it to the point where you want to pretty much start. And I think I started right around here. So let me hit play. What's up, people? It's the guy. Yep, so what I would do is just go here and I would just hit split and I would left click on this track, delete it, just highlight it, and then right click and just delete the track. Then I would drag that to the beginning of the timeline. That's how you trim it. Then I would just hit play. What's up, people? It's the guy Mark with, yep. As you can see right here, it took some time to upload, or it just took a while. There's a gap in between of what I was saying here. So let me see. Okay, now once your file is uploaded, yeah. Now if you want to, you could trim that. Just delete it actually. So just put your cursor right after you gave this narration, right after you see that you talked right there. So I will put it like right between there. And then I would just left click and hold down on this tab and I'll drag it out right about there to highlight the area that I wanted to delete. And then you just hit cut. And what it's going to do is take that whole spot out. So now what you have is, then you upload it. Okay, now once your file is uploaded, okay, now that's how you trim your videos. Now you could also do annotations, like if you wanted to highlight a certain area, you got call outs, shapes. You could blur out black backgrounds, like you could highlight some, or you could, like this right here, basically this is your blur. So you could put that in there if you guess like some personal information in there that you wanted to blur out and you didn't want anybody to see. These right here, shapes, I use this a lot. Like if I wanted them to focus on something, I could bring this in. Let's say if I wanted them to focus on this right here. Let's just take that. I'll bring that annotation in right about here. This right here is where you know where your video is going to be, so you could really fine tune it. And I'll bring it in right about here. And you take that annotation, just drag your cursor right over it, so this way you could see it. And you could go into the bottom left corner or whatever, and you could minimize it, make it as big or as small as you want to. Drag it right in over that. So now what it's going to look like is uploaded. Okay, now once your file is uploaded, always, and then you could also minimize this, so you can make it go as long or as short as you want. Let's make it go short. Okay, now once your file is uploaded, always like to play. Now you could also add a transition to this. You could add a transition to just make sure whatever it is that you want to work on in the timeline, when you work on the tools that's up here in the left of Camtasia, whatever you're working on or whatever you want your transitions to or annotations to apply to, just make sure it's highlighted down there in the timeline. So now that I know that that's highlighted, let's say if I wanted it to instead of just disappearing, I wanted it to fade out. Let's just apply this. Then I'm going to trim it a little bit. Okay. Load it. Okay, now once your file is uploaded, always like to play it. Okay, now if I also let me grab another annotation, because if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to grab an arrow or whatever, you just left click on that, drag it down into the timeline. Now if I wanted to work with this, you just drag your cursor over it, and as you can see, you drag this around the screen. Now there's a little dot that's to the right. If you hover over that, it's going to give you the opportunity to turn it around, so you could pinpoint whatever you want to point to, and then you could just double tap over the text and just put in whatever you wanted your text to be about. Now over here, if you want to, you can also customize your text. right now Source Sans Pro your font. So if you wanted your font style to be different, there's a window that you could drop down and you could even customize your text style. Now as far as your arrow itself, the annotation, if you wanted to customize that, just click on the annotation up here in the upper right. Now if you wanted to, right now that annotation is this particular color code here, but if you want to, you could change that around and play with that. So you can make it whatever color that you wanted to. You could also even change the text around. This right here is your text property. So just click over text, and you could also change, right now you see it's white. You could so as you see, you could just click here to make it whatever color text that you like. So that's how you customize your annotations, and then we could go into transitions. Now if you had a different track that you wanted to put in, let's go back to media. Now here's my intro. So let's say, what's up people, it's the guy Mark with McGuires Tutorials. I want to shoot a quick video to show you how to upload your closed captions files to your YouTube videos. Once your video has uploaded, let's just separate the track right here. I'm going to split it. I highlight it, and I'm just going to split that track. Highlight this track, split. Going to pull them out, pull my intro into it. Put it back together. Now this is my actual video track right here, what I have highlighted. This is my video track. And you'll know because you get these windows here, so you'll see that this right here is actual your video track here. Now your audio track, your audio graphs in it, so you'll know that this is your audio track. Now what I'm going to do is add a transaction to my video track, so it's highlighted, and I'm going to go up into transitions, and let's say if I wanted a nice full circle, I'm just going to right click, hit add to selected media, and you know it's your selected media because again the track is highlighted. Now if you want to that transition, you just click on the transition here that you see you just applied, and you could drag it out as long like 2-3 seconds, or you could leave it, you know, to 1 or 2 seconds, so you could really customize how long that circle drags out also. Let's see what that looks like. Quick video to show you how to upload your closed captions files to your YouTube videos. Once your video has uploaded. Okay, so that's how you separate tracks if you wanted to edit and put another track in, and also add your transitions. Now behaviors is something that you can add to annotations. Let's say if I wanted to add another annotation in right about here. So what I would do is just, you could pull that annotation in and make sure your cursor down here in the timeline is right over that annotation, and just pull it up. Double click on the text. Now just put in and now let me change the text color so you could see it. Just highlight your text and change the text color so this way you can see it clearly. And now I'm going to add a behavior. So I'm going to click over behavior, and let's just say I wanted them to do this particular behavior. I want them to pulsate. It's highlighted down here in the timeline. So I'm going to right click over the pulsating behavior and just click add to selected media. Now let's check it out. Just click pause, and then you could correct it over here. And once you've corrected, you just click in, you correct that little. That's how you add behaviors. Now animations is if you wanted them to focus on a particular area. I really like this, like if you wanted to emphasize over something. So let's say if I wanted them to really focus on save changes. Just click, once you click over animations, just go into zoom and pan, and the area that you wanted them to really focus on, you continue playing the video, and then once you finish, just zoom in, and right here we want to focus on save changes, just as an example. And if you go into your timeline, you could also drag this out so you can make it zoom in slowly. Little spot, and then you continue playing the video, and then once you finish doing that, you just click save changes. Now once you want to zoom back out, you find a good spot that you want to zoom back out. Once you finish putting the emphasis on that particular area, you could just go to actual size, and then you'll get another icon down there that pops up and let you know that it's going to pop up back in the actual size on that particular timeline. And you drag your window to make sure you got your full screen back in. So here's what this looks like. Again, you correct that little spot, and then you continue playing the video, and then once you finish doing that, you just click save changes. Audio effects. Now if you wanted to, there's a particular spot on the timeline, the same thing, like if there's something that you want to mute out, you could just bring your window in and just bring that particular spot down. And then if you make a mistake, you could just hit undo. So there's always, you could also undo anything that you make a mistake on. Now if you wanted to fade out or trim, you could highlight this particular area, and then you could just add to selected media, and as you can see, the volume will fade out. And that's how you can edit your video in Camtasia. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If so, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.